Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adrian Swinson. I'm the Development Director at Pictar. This breakout session that you are in is entitled Getting Out by Going In, Positive Decision-Making Tools. I am co-moderating this breakout session with Kalani Tonga, who is the Director of EmpowHERment, a program of Pictar. On the panel today, we have Susi Feltch-Malohifo'ou, Bernice Oba, Carolyn Rolberg, and Cencira. They are going to take a few minutes and introduce themselves, and then we'll get into the panel.
Good evening. My name is Susi Feltch-Malohifo'ou, and I'm excited to share with you a weekly group that I participate in every Tuesday night online called the Gogi Lifers Group. Gogi stands for Getting Out by Going In. One night I dropped by our Pasifika men's group called Kava Talks, and there was a young Tongan man there. David had just returned from another stay in prison, and his brother-in-law had told him about Kava Talks, and he showed up. Simi actually knew David and his family. I was so impressed with David's ability to facilitate a group discussion. His mannerisms and his vocabulary was vast. David shared that he had worked years doing book reports, workbooks, and facilitating groups to become a Gogi coach while he was in prison. I was so impressed that I called Gogi the next day, and I met Coach Taylor, the creator of Gogi. Coach Taylor began volunteering inside United States prisons and jails in 2002 as a psychology student. She has maintained her position as founding volunteer for Gogi, encouraging others to experience the internal freedom resulting from sincere volunteer effort. Gogi is 100% volunteer run. Coach Taylor shared that at the time, Gogi was a prison program only. And I mentioned to her that these Gogi tools, if that helped Davitha become what I saw at Kava Talks, I knew a lot of people that could use those tools, including myself. Gogi is a nonprofit organization that models the value of volunteerism. There are 12 Gogi life tools, and each tool has a practical application to let the user make the most positive decisions possible. The Gogi tools were developed, designed, explored, practiced, and then perfected over a period of 10 years by tens of thousands of individuals. The Gogi life tools represent the collaboration representing most human lifestyles and widely diverse experiences. The Gogi life tools were developed consistent with cognitive behavior therapy and positive psychology modalities. Gogi's mission is to empower the individual with the Gogi life tools for making positive decisions and creating a life of purpose and meaning through sustained behavioral and perspective changes. A year ago, Coach Taylor contacted us to let us know that Gogi Community Power Up Group program would be available and would we be interested in starting one. We jumped at the opportunity, and four of us, my husband Simi, Bernice Oba, myself, and Kava Talks director Paul Tuivai, who just recently passed away, were trained on Gogi and how to run a Gogi meeting. One of the unique things about Gogi is that there is a Gogi calendar of study, which means everyone that's studying Gogi studies the same tool each week, all over the world. The Gogi values resonated with me. They are: positive cultures are created by individuals with a vision for peace and harmony. Positive perspective shifts are possible regardless of past experiences. Personal responsibility leads to internal happiness. Empowerment comes from positive decision-making over a sustained period of time. And every human being has value and is filled with unlimited potential for good and is worth any investment of energy. And service leads to internal freedom. Gogi has 200,000 documented registered students. An internal study within the Los Angeles County Jail tracked 300 Gogi women. Their recidivation rate reduced to 11%, while women not in the Gogi program had a recidivation rate of above 80%. There are 150 released Gogi coaches with zero recidivation. What I have found is that no matter the issue I face, there is a Gogi tool that will help. If it's financial freedom, leaving a toxic relationship, or asking your boss for a raise, there is at least one tool that can help you make a positive decision. I've invited 3 amazing Gogi lifer women to join me tonight. I asked each one of them to share their favorite Gogi tool. I'm going to turn the time over to Cencira.
Thank you so much, Susie. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here tonight. What an honor it is to be here with you all and share space, learn, and better ourselves and our community together. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my experiences in utilizing the Gogi tool, What If, and how it's enhanced my life and my financial empowerment. My name is Cencira, and I am a very proud and active participant of Gogi every week in our community power-up meetings. And it has been my weekly safe haven for me and a place where I have learned so many tools to help better myself, especially in understanding myself, and how to be more effective in communicating and strengthening my own personal financial well-being. I joined Gogi after learning about it from our brother Devitenio, as Susie spoke of. I had participated in the Salt Lake City Gogi mailroom a few years ago, going through workbooks of those incarcerated who were participating in the program too. Full circle, I ended up sending all of the workbooks and books to my partner who is currently incarcerated in federal prison after getting a copy from Coach Taylor of the Community Power Up book. And then I joined the online Gogi group, and I'm so happy that I did. It's helped me be a better partner and has helped me be a better mother too. There have been participants in our Gogi group who are recently released, currently incarcerated, loved ones of those locked up, victims, advocates, prison staff, and community members, just to give a snapshot view of who comes each week. I could tell you all the amazing things, but it's better if you're there. There's truly a genuine care, love, and support unlike any other. I want to switch gears now before I dive into the What If Gogi tool. So I'd like to ask each of you to close your eyes and think back to a time recently or in the past when you were desperately or painfully in need of money. Maybe it was needing money for rent and facing eviction. Money for a car payment and facing repossession. Money for a life-saving health procedure, but no insurance or funds to cover it. Maybe it was money you earned from working hard and that was taken from you by a loved one, and you had no control over your hard-earned money. Now that you've pictured this moment in your mind, now think of all of those emotions, thoughts, your body language, if you were sweating, feeling hot or cold, or feeling like you were suffocating. I'll give 15 seconds for everyone to think of that moment and all of the emotions and the thoughts that you had during that desperate time. Now hold those emotions and thoughts in your mind and think about what you're going through. And when I ask my next question, I want you to think about just how you're feeling. Now ask yourself in your mind, what if I'm not my current situation? What if this negative situation was not my only option? What if I found some options to help me get through this? You can open your eyes now. Thank you. The What If tool permits us to see possibilities and options we might otherwise overlook. Today, I use What If because I am not defined by my past or crisis situations, or even my trauma. When I use What If, I am defined by each decision I make today. This tool helps you instantly access a wider perspective for every situation. Keywords to remember with the what if tool are no to the past and yes to the future. I finally said yes to the future because of my Gogi family and the tools like what if. Perfection meant the world to me, but while I was checking boxes and trying to be the perfect version of myself, I failed to recognize how I was slowly self-destructing. My behaviors manifested through anger, paranoia, self-hate, and isolation, just to name a few. My financial habits were terrible. I always thought I had to have it all in order to be successful. So financially, I was always a failure. I thought, I need to have a large amount of money in the bank, a nice home, a nice car, and that was someone who was financially set. But I found myself in a constant whirlwind of overspending, buying things for others to please them so I didn't have any attention on myself because I hated myself. I kept my head to the ground, and anytime someone needed something, I was always there, making sure, spending my money and making sure to take care of them, and while I was taking care of myself and my family. But I couldn't see that I was hurting them and myself. It wasn't until a few short years ago, I realized after reading the Gogi book and practicing this what if tool, I finally tried it. I asked myself, what if success looked like me achieving my dreams of graduating with my bachelor's in social work and being financially stable? While I've never considered myself a single mother, being the sole provider for my little family has been a tremendous burden. And I know many of you, single parents or individuals raising a family by yourself in your home, money is a heavy issue all day, every day. I've had to make a penny stretch over weeks or months or years on end, but you wouldn't have known that unless I spoke to it. Sometimes cultural obligations became extremely heavy, and as a Pacific Islander, if you don't put in your funds to contribute to that family funeral, family wedding, or other family occasion, even if it was an extended family, you'd risk the verbal and social backlash, even if your own family didn't heavily practice this evolved cultural tradition. While learning and practicing Gogi tools, I definitely took advantage to protect myself and my little family to say, what if I can't afford to? And that means I will not make a financial decision that hurts my family. What if also turned my cans into cans? I found an apartment by choice for my own mental health and well-being after living with my family for some time. And for me and my daughter, and to have our own space together, but also for when my partner returns. Was I financially set? No, but I truly thought if I had the house and my money right, we'd be happy. But I took that chance to tell myself, what if I could have it now? And then work towards my goal of the dreams and goals I want to achieve. Changing my mindset to look at the possibilities and how much the positive outcomes would outweigh all the negatives that I thought were the only outcome, it's helped me to actively work through my thoughts when I get caught in the negative self-talk or start to tunnel vision. I'm proud that I can catch myself now before making a decision where I'm not in the right frame of mind. Like I mentioned before, it's very hard and I fall on my face some days. But what if I kept practicing and made it a good habit? Gogi helped me take the tools like what if and put it in practice each week. It also showed me my true self and the toxic behaviors and practices I had without even recognizing it. But I can proudly say, I finally met myself and I know her, me, my true authentic self without hesitations. So today I've been able to learn effectively, and yes, with hiccups, because let's face it, unlearning bad habits are hard, but I've been able to find a home for my daughter and my love and myself, and that's our sanctuary and safe space. I've been a better communicator, and have healed from so many adverse childhood experiences I've held on to for over 30 years and freed myself of those years of hurt and pain. One of my greatest goals in life was to have financial freedom. Back then, that used to look like money on hand and money in the bank with all of the glitz and glitter, but now my what if has become reality in being financially free because of the inner empowerment I've gained by using this tool and the other Gogi tools. It isn't easy, but it's so well worth it. The first step is to show up, and I promise if you stick with it and trust the process, you'll be grateful you joined Gogi. I wish I had more time to share everything I've learned and experienced with Gogi, but it's best if you just join and get to know Gogi yourself. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I do hope that you'll join us virtually every week, Tuesday nights on Zoom, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. You can go to www.pictar.org. Gogi truly is a way of life that not only helps one achieve financial empowerment, but healing and freedom from within while being supported by an awesome Gogi family. Before I go, I leave you with this quote to help you understand the power the tool What If has once you've unlocked it within. Your mighty inner power is always accessible to you in multitudes. The question is whether you enable it to charge you up or you surrender to the circumstances. So ask yourselves, what if? Thank you. I'd like to turn the time over and pass it to our Gogi mom, Carolyn.
My name is Carolyn Rolberg, and I am a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. I am retired, and I worked as an executive assistant at 2 different school districts and 1 psychiatric hospital in Southern California for my entire 38-year career. For many of these years, I was a single parent raising 3 children. I was introduced to Gogi, getting out by going in, by my son James, who was incarcerated and served over 30 years in the California Department of Corrections and Juvenile Justice System. I really enjoy being called Gogi Mom Carolyn, and I have participated in several Gogi Power Up Zoom meetings. The Gogi tools have been very helpful in my life, and I just wish I had known about these tools when I was much younger, as I know they would have benefited me and guided me through my domestic violence situations. I love people, and I'm grateful for all of the opportunities I've been given to meet and become friends with people from all over the world through the Gogi Power Up Zoom meetings. I'm 72 years old, I'm married, and I live in Southern California. I'm happy to share some information on the Gogi tool, Claim Responsibility. Claim Responsibility is the first tool of the set of tools called Moving Forward. As a tool, Claim Responsibility provides a sense of ownership you can use to make the best decisions available to you today. Use Claim Responsibility for decisions today to become aware that actions and reactions to life's inevitable challenges are yours to choose. The statement of ownership for Claim Responsibility. Today, I use my tool Claim Responsibility to inform each decision and reaction to life's challenges. When I use Claim Responsibility, I'm able to move beyond my past choices and design my responses with greater wisdom and clarity. I ask myself, am I proud of this choice? The key words for Claim Responsibility. Am I proud of this choice? My actions and reactions today are not tethered to the past unless I do the tethering. The basics for Claim Responsibility. The basics empower you with choices that support your goals. While it is important to claim responsibility and learn from past actions, with Claim Responsibility as a tool, you focus exclusively on today's decisions. When you focus on your decisions today, without being burdened with past mistakes, you may find more powerful decisions are possible. There is a time and a place for you to claim responsibility for the past, and there is a time and place for you to learn how to make better decisions for the future. Focus on culminating better decisions for your future. Using the Gogi Life tool today permits you to ask the question, am I proud of the choice I'm about to make? This tool is best utilized for a specific choice on a specific day in a specific situation. In this way, you're not dragging past choices into this situation. When you use this tool, you realize that how you respond and react to anything is under your control. No one can make you angry. Only you choose if you will let others anger you. No one can make you drink or do drugs. It is you who gets to choose if you put yourself in a position where saying no is a challenge. When you use claim responsibility, you move toward the life that you may have never thought was possible. Only you are responsible for how you react and respond today. Today, you get to move beyond the past and create an improved version of you with your tool, claim responsibility. When you say, am I proud of this choice? It will disconnect you from the drama and make all of your choices from the position of power. That is very empowering. I own it because I can choose how I'm going to act or react. Claim responsibility is a great way to stop blaming others or yourself for things that are out of your control. All you have to do is ask yourself, am I proud of this choice? Claim responsibility puts you in control. You know where you're going with your life, and no one has control over you. When my son introduced me to the Gogi Life tools, I began to read one of the Gogi books. And then in every telephone conversation from my son, he would tell me what the tool of the week was and tell me a little bit about it. These tools really made a difference in my son's life, and I could see it. The 12 Gogi tools are studied, like Susie said, according to the Gogi Life Tool Calendar of Study. The tools can be used on their own, in their sets, or in any configuration that helps to sustain positive decision-making and lasting changes. The calendar, however, serves to unite all communities into a global community of positive individuals. Each week starts on a Monday. Each week of the month is assigned its own tool to be studied during that week. A few years ago, I was invited by Coach Taylor, who is the founder of Gogi, to join in on a Gogi Zoom meeting. I was very nervous at first, but I quickly became comfortable with the format, and I really enjoy our weekly meetings. I discovered that this was a safe place to discuss the tools, and I was able to participate without feeling that I would be judged by anyone on the Zoom meeting. I today look forward to our weekly Zoom meetings. Today, I am proud of myself for having the strength and courage to leave an abusive marriage, and I created a new life for myself and my children. It wasn't easy, but I reached out for help from my brother, who arranged for me to meet with an attorney. That was the first step. I became the solution for myself and my children. I use the tool Claim Responsibility, which allows me to have power over my life and my actions and reactions today. We need to remember to claim responsibility for all the good things we do each day. Today, I got up on time, brushed my teeth, took a shower, I got dressed, and I ate a healthy breakfast. I also claimed responsibility and am proud of myself for being a member of this panel, so I could share how this tool has helped me. In the past, before learning about this tool, I would only claim responsibility for things that I may have done wrong or mistakes I made, either knowingly or unknowingly. I have also taken responsibility for things that I didn't even do, trying to help someone or cover up for mistakes that someone else actually made. I had never realized that I could or should claim responsibility for all of the many, many things I have done right in my life. Claim responsibility is a great tool to use when dealing with financial situations. I was tens of thousands of dollars in debt with my credit cards, which I had several, because I would transfer the balance of one to another over and over again. When I decided to stop that nonsense, I paid the minimum on all of them, but I took the card that had the lowest balance. I paid that minimum plus $50. Once I paid that card off, I took that minimum and $50 and paid the minimum on the next card. This process took me about 5 years, but I got all my credit cards paid off. Because I had made a plan and stuck to it, I felt in control and I had less anxiety over the situation. I also had the opportunity to, while I was full-time employed, to transcribe and type reports for a psychiatrist. I would type after my daughter went to sleep at night, and I got up early in the morning to type before she woke up. I had that opportunity for 5 years, and it helped me manage my finances and helped me stay in control of my financial situation. In 2004, when I retired from the school district, I started a craft business, Carolyn's Creations. I created items and I sold them at craft shows. I taught sewing and machine embroidery at a local sewing store. And I became a retailer for a large embroidery design company, and I sold their machine embroidery designs and supplies. I'm not teaching in person anymore due to COVID, and also the store closed, but I still teach weekly using Zoom, and I also sell products to my students. Claim responsibility is a great Gogi tool that can help all of us in all aspects of our life. Just remember to ask yourself, am I proud of the decision that I'm about to make? Thank you very much for the opportunity. And now I'd like to hand it over to Bernice.
Thank you, Gogi Mom. My name is Bernice Ova. I started off with PICTAR as an intern last year in January, and am now a community health worker. I am also a proud full-time mother, a full-time student, and a full-time wife. I grew up in Compton, California. I grew up in a neighborhood filled with gang violence, gun violence, and crime. And growing up, I felt that I had to fit in by participating in gangs, which would make me tough. But instead, this made me angry. I would wake up angry, and I would enjoy intimidating others. I enjoyed just being mad. I was so mad that I would choose to fight just because I wanted to put fear into others. Eventually, my mom got tired of the school calling and put me in an anger management class. And in that class, one of the questions that the teacher had asked was it worth it joining those gangs? Was it worth it losing your friends? And I reflected back, because in high school, I lost about 10 friends to gang violence. And then I decided that I did not want to be a product of my environment. I'm very grateful for this tool, which I would like to introduce, that is one of my favorite Gogi tools, called 5-second light switch. Because of this tool, I'm able to gain control of my actions, reactions, thoughts, and words. When situations seem to be the boss of me, it's easy to flip your switch with the 5-second light switch. The key words for this tool are, I may have an old thought, but I now have a new action. Within 5 seconds, I flip my switch and get to my new action. I have had many experiences with this tool, but one experience that really stood out to me was when my husband and I, as well as our 8-month-old son, we were on a plane, and as we were about to get off the plane, everyone behind us was impatient and wanted to pass my husband while he was grabbing our luggage. As I was about to say something, I clenched my fist, looked at my son and my husband, and I remembered my 5-second light switch. And I use this tool by thinking of my 5 reasons of my why, of just why I didn't want to go back to that old place, to that my old self and acting on impulse. And my 5-second light switch is: first, I'm a mother; second, I am a wife; third, I'm a daughter of God; fourth, I'm a public figure; and last but not least, let God prevail, don't go to jail. I know that last tool sounds funny, but it was a great reminder for me to that part where it says don't go to jail, that 5-figure part, I can just put it to my chest and just remember to really not go to jail. And so I am grateful for these 5 reasons, because I wasn't able to act on impulse. And it's not to say that you're human. You can mess up. You can go back to your old ways. But again, it's up to you to keep working at it. When I think of flipping your switch in this situation, when an old thought creeps into your mind, you notice that old thought. But then within the 5 seconds, use your 5-second light switch to get your new action. For my 5, here's another popular way to use the 5-second light switch. So pick out your 5 solid reasons you want to remain on a positive track. When an old thought tries to take over, look at your fingers and name the 5 good reasons to get to your new action. Now, what are your 5 reminders? Think of them, remember them, and clench your fist and look down at those 5 reasons. Attending Gogi was my form of self-care, because here I am using tools to help me be a better individual. I felt like using these tools helped me transform me to make decisions more carefully. I love hearing from my Gogi group members, Cencira, we have Coach James and Gogi Mom Carolyn, and so many others, about their experiences and how they've been able to change and grow. It's empowering to join Gogi, and I would invite anyone here to please join. I'm grateful for our Gogi Lifers group. Please add us on Facebook as well. They're all amazing individuals, and they're all healing and growing and empowering each other one at a time. And so thank you for this opportunity, and I'll send that back to Susie.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for sharing your favorite tool. We learned today about what if, claim responsibility, and 5-second light switch. Gogi is actually 12 positive decision-making tools, and the tools are grouped. So the Gogi tools of the body empower you to take control of how you act and react to life's inevitable challenges and opportunities using boss of my brain, belly breathing, 5-second light switch. The Gogi tools of choice put you in control of your thoughts, your words, and your actions with a simple filter you can use to create opportunities and avoid obstacles. Positive thoughts, positive words, positive actions. The Gogi tools of moving forward let you move beyond your past as you turn your challenges into your opportunities. Claim responsibility, let go, and 4-give. The Gogi tools of creation permit you to design your life in a way that brings you lasting joy, contentment, meaning, and purpose. What if? Reality check, and ultimate freedom. I love the vision of Gogi, which is all humans can unite in a desire for peace and harmony, and the Gogi Life Tools provides a common language for all mankind to use in reaching their reality. We invite you any Tuesday night online at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Group lasts for max 90 minutes, and if you stay on for the after party, that one could go for hours. I have met wonderful people that I look up to that have made unbelievable changes in their lives. Tomorrow, you'll get a chance to hear the Gogi mom's son, Coach James, and his journey. You don't want to miss it. And we will have more about Gogi tomorrow. I have this saying that I just kind of adopted recently that says, we are part of the solution, not the pollution. So thank you very much for spending this time with us, and would like to open this up to questions and answers for anyone in the audience or online. Well, I was just gonna say, I see Coach James on here and he's relaxing. So I'm gonna let him, he's our Gogi missionary. And you know, they don't know anything about Mormonism or anything, but I always tell Coach James, you wanna take a couple of minutes and share with us some Gogi inspiration?
Sure. Thank you, Susie, Cencira, Bernice, and Gogi Mom. I thought that you guys represented the tools very well. Um, my name is Coach James, and I'm formerly incarcerated. Carolyn Gogi Mom Rollberg is my mom. Um, the Gogi tools helped in our family dynamic. Like she said, every time that we would connect on the phone and we could talk about a Gogi tool, it just changed the dynamic of the conversation. Because of course it was hard. It was hard to get on the phone. It was hard to connect with family, but inserting these tools and having a tool available for the daily stressors is really helpful. Since Sarah talked about the tool, what if was for me was like having a blank check and imagining the best case scenario. And I love the way that Bernice highlighted the 5 second light switch when she spoke to her hand. And I like to use the 5 second light switch with the 5 things that she mentioned and a stressor that is a temporary thing that you're maybe going through, like financial hardships, domestic violence, um, any sort of things that's going on in your life. We have a Gogi tool called Let Go. And what we do is we speak to the 5 things that Bernice mentioned, and we clench our fists, and we call that Gogi tool Let Go. We hand, squash, and toss. And these 5 things will stay with you, and those situations that you're faced with in your day-to-day lives, they're temporary, and you have the power to overcome that. um, Gogi Mom Carolyn talked about claiming responsibility for everything that's right in your life. Every one of us makes very good decisions all throughout the day, and oftentimes something will happen, and we tend to claim responsibility for that negative thing, and uh, it's so wrong to live our lives like that. So at Gogi, what we try to do is we try to emphasize the positive. We use the 12 tools of Gogi and the positivity surrounding them, and we change our future by doing that. I can tell you that the Gogi tools changed my life. Um, like my mother said, I served over 30 years in California Department of Corrections, and when I started using the Gogi tools, my life has gotten better and better and better. Now I'm free. I have a good job. I have family and friends. And the Gogi Lifers group is really a safe space to share and open up. We're a community of diverse individuals that have gotten to know each other and love each other and support each other. And the key to it all is the calendar, because we stay on calendar together, and that connects us no matter where you are. So I just encourage anybody that's interested in learning more about the Gogi tools to look it up on the Pictar Facebook page and come join us and check it out. And you'll have a wonderful time and meet incredible people. Thank you.
Thank you, James. I'm glad you approve of us. We had a question. How do we outreach and recruit for Gogi? But I'm going to tell you, you just met one of our greatest missionaries right there. James teaches, he brings, so many of the guys that have been incarcerated, and you're going to hear James' story tomorrow. But when James had came to our Gogi Lifers, I think within 1 week of him being released from prison after doing 30 plus years. And so, those of you that know me, I was like, what's this white guy doing? Why is he coming to our group? Right? And I was like, this is supposed to be for Polynesians. And we loved James and his mom. I thought that was weird. Like, and his mom comes too. And it was, if it wasn't for Paul, because Paul Tuivai was the one that said, relax, Susie. Like, it doesn't have to be the way we envision. Let's go with it. And James came 1 week after being released from prison. And I'll tell you, him and the Gogi coaches, if you remember what I said earlier, was there are 150 Gogi coaches that have come out of prison with zero recidivation. There is not a program out there that can say that. But these 150 guys that have come out of prison, they're our recruiters, right? We ourselves, there's nobody else that can recruit better. So I think for him or any of you guys, like, we out there sharing with everybody.
Yeah, and I really, it's just showing up to any of them. You can even go to the website and read all about it. The curriculum was written by those who were incarcerated, and I just think it's amazing. Like, I joined because of my relationship, but also I was looking for something where I could feel safe as a community member regarding my relationship, and also just trying to better myself. And I was there on and off for a little bit, but after some time, a couple years after that, then I was consistent with it, and I saw the results of that, and it just feels like a family. So I would highly suggest, Jorge, come join us Tuesday night. You can invite anyone else there. I know we try to keep it within a certain amount of numbers, but even if it's bigger, we break out into rooms. So that way it allows for people to have good dialogue and have their voices be heard too. Because we do a lot of sharing and we keep each other accountable too.
I was gonna say, the other thing is, Gogi Mom, I don't know if this runs in their family. Oh, she can't hear it. I was just gonna say, Gogi Mom, I don't know if it runs in her and James's family, but I just am always impressed. She knows all these people in prison, and they're always calling her collect, and she accepts their collect calls, and she just treats them all like they're her sons. She'll like, oh, Susie, so-and-so called me. He's probably gonna call during Gogi. But I think she's a good recruiter just by being genuinely her. I was just so amazed with her love and reaching out to the prisoners. And I'm sure James, I'm sure you introduced people to her, but she accepts collect phone calls from prison. And I don't know how much she spends in collect calls, but it's expensive. But she is a great friend and a recruiter. And she'll say, Susie, so-and-so just got out of prison and I invited him to come. So let's hope that he comes. Like, okay. And as soon as they get on the call, they're like, Gogi Mom, hi. It really is a family. And so I think all of us are just sharing our experiences, how it's made us feel, our relationships with each other. And I just love this program. We invite everybody to join us any Tuesday night.
I just want to thank you guys for accepting us because I think it was a little closed group before we came. And I really fell in love with Paul, and I was very, very sad when I heard that he had passed. But I also just want to say that had I not had a son in prison, I had some biases against people in prison. I would have felt before, well, they did something wrong, they should be there. But people can change, and people do, once they pay their price, if they've changed, they can be great on the outside. So I want to say that I have faith in these guys that do call me, and that there's even video. They can call and we can video chat for 15 minutes too. But yes, I met some of them when I would go in prison before COVID, of course, and meet in the visiting room with my son. And then that's how I met these men. And they're nothing to be afraid of. They're, even if they're tattooed up, I don't like tattoos, but everybody has them now these days. So a tattoo does not make the person. Yeah, thank you, James. Put your arm down. I just did it.
So Daniel found, we're going to close our session out by everybody saying the pledge. He found a video of Paul, and just in memory of him and his participation and his desire for us, and he kept pushing about Gogi. Daniel found a video, and if everybody could follow us as Paul leads us, he's going to say one sentence and you just repeat his sentence. But thank you, Daniel, for finding the video.
Thank you for everybody's check-in. I appreciate everyone sharing and look forward to our check-in for next week. And for your intentions were wonderful. I'm going to do our Gogi Pledge of Service. All students of Gogi unite with our Gogi Pledge of Service. This pledge defines our purpose and is repeated at the end of every Power Up community meeting. Remaining in your peer mentor circles, each group will rotate leading the pledge for the larger group as we close this Power Up community meeting. We unite as a community with our pledge to be of service. Please repeat after me. The Gogi Pledge of Service. May our commitment
May our commitment
to the study of Gogi
to the study of Gogi
grant us the joy
grant
Grant us the joy
of giving and receiving,
of
giving and receiving,
so that our inner freedom
so that our
inner freedom
may be of maximum service
may be of maximum service
to those we love
to
to
those
those we love
and infinite others.
infinite
and
others.
infinite others.
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful way to close the session. And in memory of Paul, and tune in tomorrow. You're going to hear Coach James along with Simi and some of our other coaches. Tomorrow, I don't know what time it is, but tune in and you will get to see them. Thank you so much.